North Carolina will take on number 15 Oregon in the Holiday Bowl. And if you love offense, this is the game for you. And I can tell you guys, I am pumped for this matchup between the Tar Heels and the Ducks. Two great quarterbacks between Drake May and Bo Nix. And despite lots of opt-outs on both sides, this should still be a fantastic game out west. And we are here to break down everything you need to know for this matchup between UNC and Oregon, and of course share our official prediction. So guys, as always, welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We're so glad that you could join us today. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, and of course check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com, where we have our holiday special over there. $29.99 gets you every single postseason pick, every single college football bowl game pick, every single NFL playoff game pick. And guys, we are beating out over 80% of the national analysts. We're hitting over 60% of our bets this year. You do not want to miss out on that special, on that package. Go check it out. The link for it down in the description below over on thegridironexpert.com. Sign up today and start winning with us today only at the Gridiron Expert. Love to have you. But let's take a look at this game, guys. I'm pumped for it. Two 9-win teams, North Carolina 9-4, runner-up in the ACC, falling to Clemson in that championship game. Oregon, number 15 in the country, 9-3. A bit of a disappointing year, a year where many thought Oregon could make the playoff. They were looking really, really good, but fell to Washington at home, blew a big lead to Oregon State in the finale. Not the way they wanted to end it, but overall 9 wins and a shot at 10 wins in year one under Dan Lanning. Not the worst thing in the world. We'll take a look at the offenses, guys. Again, I'm stoked for it. I love great offensive games. I love the matchup we have here. North Carolina has Drake May. Drake May, who has thrown for over 4,100 yards, 35 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions. A 5-to-1 ratio when it comes to touchdowns to interceptions. He's also the team's leading rusher with 653 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. He will, of course, be without his top wide receiver in Josh Downs, who had over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. He also will be without his offensive coordinator in Phil Longo, who will be going to Wisconsin. So that's 2 big losses for the UNC offense here, but one that I do believe they'll be able to overcome as long as Drake May can stay healthy under center in this game. They're averaging 35 points per game, 317 passing yards per game, 156 rushing yards per game. Elijah Green's been phenomenal as well, 508 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns on the year. This is a team, guys, that despite the loss of Downs and Longo can still put up a lot of points and do it in a very short amount of time. Oregon, they're no different. They're the exact same way. 39.7 points per game and balanced. Very, very balanced. 291.5 passing yards per game, 216 rushing yards per game. Bo Nix has been the reason for, you look at Oregon last year, they struggled a lot offensively. They came into this year, new offensive coordinator in Kenny Dillingham, who's gone as well over to Arizona State. You look at Bo Nix, and they changed everything so quickly. 3,389 yards through the air, 27 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions. He's also added 504 rushing yards and 14 touchdowns. So 41 total touchdowns for Bo Nix on the year. He's got a talented core of running backs as well right behind him. Bucky Irving, 906 yards, 3 touchdowns. Noah Whittington, 754 yards, 5 touchdowns. They will be without one of their top wide receivers in Dante Thornton, who had 366 yards and a touchdown. He's 4th on the team in reception yards. But overall, this offense should be set and ready to go. Yes, they both lose. Both teams lose their offensive coordinators, but both have their star quarterbacks, and that should be enough to give each team a very good shot in this game. You take a look at the defense. In a game that is going to be dominated, we think, by offense, it always comes down to defense. Who's going to be able to get the crucial stop? Who's going to force the turnovers? Who's going to get the stops? That's how you win a shootout. Sometimes all it takes is one. You take a look at North Carolina. Their defense has been bad. Put it simply, it's been bad. 31 points per game is what they're giving up. 276 through the air, 162 on the ground. And it's going to be even worse now with all of their opt-outs. They're losing their cornerback, Cam Kelly, 49 tackles, was 5th on the team, had 1 interception. They're losing Tony Grimes at cornerback, 36 tackles, 7 passes defended. Cornerback Storm Duck is gone, 46 tackles, 10 passes defended, leads the team with 3 interceptions. So 3 key cornerbacks are out for a team that had been horrendous against the pass all year long. 276 passing yards per game. So that's a bad look for North Carolina. Some young guys are going to have to step up in this game if they don't want to get run off the field by Oregon. The Tar Heels only have 16 sacks on the year. They've only forced 13 turnovers on the year, and neither of those two marks are encouraging as they now go up against one of the best offenses in the country. You take a look at Oregon, their defense, though, hasn't been that much better. They've been pretty bad offensively, or defensively. 27.4 points per game is what they're giving up. About 261 through the air, 125 on the ground. They're going to be without one of their star linebackers in Justin Flo, who had 35 tackles, and it's just really, really elite talent. He didn't have necessarily a breakout year. Obviously, in years past, he struggled to be healthy. He's obviously leaving the program, trying to find himself a fresh start, but it's not a great loss. You don't want to lose a player like that, but ultimately it's not nearly as big as the losses that UNC is having to go through. Most of the secondary that forced 16 interceptions will still be intact for this game. And you got to keep in mind, guys, that Drake May, as great as he's been, has thrown 4 interceptions in his last 3 games. Now, Oregon's secondary hasn't been fantastic. Again, about 261 passing yards per game they're allowing, but if you're putting it on paper, Oregon does own the secondary edge in this game due to the amount of opt-outs that North Carolina is dealing with. So ultimately, guys, what is going to happen in the Holiday Bowl? The Holiday Bowl, for me, is typically one of the more underrated bowl games each and every year. Always puts 2 pretty solid teams up against each other. We kind of forget about it. Played out west, out in California. People kind of just overlook it. We didn't get to see one last year. It was supposed to be UCLA and NC State. We did not get to see that game last year. Hopefully the Holiday Bowl will happen this year. Again, I'm pumped. I love the 2 quarterbacks in this game. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun, despite the opt-outs. Despite the opt-outs, I still think this game should be relatively close. I genuinely do. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But for me, it is a no-brainer for me to pick Oregon. I cannot pick North Carolina in this game. The Tar Heels did not look great in their last few games. Certainly did not look that good against Clemson. And obviously, when you look at the opt-outs, well, that I don't think determines everything. Losing that many people in the secondary at the cornerback position before you play Bo Nix in this offense, that's not ideal. Drake May is going to have himself a day. I genuinely believe that. I think he's going to have a pretty solid day against the Ducks. But he's going to have to carry North Carolina by himself, and I ultimately don't think he's able to do it. Oregon has too much star power. I still like Bo Nix over Drake May in this game when it comes to the talent standpoint. I believe Oregon, guys, they can match North Carolina step for step. They can exploit a bad UNC secondary. Bo Nix is going to have himself quite a night at the Holiday Bowl. Give me the Ducks to beat UNC in a fun, high-scoring game, and Oregon clinches a 10-win season in Dan Lanning's first year. Might not be, what they wanted. Didn't win the Pac-12. Didn't even make it to the Pac-12 championship. But 10 wins, a bowl win, and a top 15 finish. Not too bad for a first-year head coach. And to me, the future looking very, very bright in Eugene. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Of course, check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. That holiday special over there, $29.99, gets you every single college football spread pick and every single NFL playoff spread pick. Only in that package, guys. All postseason football combined into one package. Go check it out. We guarantee you will win with that. So go check it out. The link for it down in the description below. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.